Hey, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Yeah, welcome to my live. Welcome to Fat Boy Radio. Yeah, I want to. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Can you guys put in one in the chat if you can hear me? Please, can you put a one in the chat if you can hear me? Um, yeah. Hello, Miss Purple Purple. What's up, SpongeBob? What's up, Honey? What's up, Doctor Bree? What's up, Tarsha? What's up, everyone? Okay. Yeah, it's a couple things I wanted to discuss because I seen some stuff around on the internet, and I wanted to kind of have a somewhat of a panel with my Oko family, you know, with some of the things we have seen transpire. Today I guess Trump got arrested. What's up, wifey? Trump got arrested. And I didn't read through the whole article, but Warrior's supposed to be here. Hopefully she come up soon. But um, yeah, I just wanted to get pretty much everyone's perspective. What's up, T man? What's up, SpongeBob?
Bro,
What's up, man? Hey, man, I want your opinions on Trump getting arrested, man.
on Trump getting arrested? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. My fucking earphones aren't. My headset's not working. Hold on a second. Shit. My thoughts on Trump getting arrested. I got mixed feelings on it.
Mm,
Um, I think that he should be charged, but I think there's way more serious charges that he should have gotten first.
mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. I don't like. I'm not sure, but I don't know. They did the kind of the same thing with R. Kelly, right? Didn't they get him on child support or something first, and then later the big charges came out? Maybe that could work. But if it just winds up being this paying off the porn star shit, and we don't get charges at least related to the Georgia election, if not also like the federal laws he broke on the Insurrection Act and the uh, stealing classified documents. If we don't get something more significant, it's going to be kind of like womp womp, you know?
Yeah.
And he might be able to use that actually to help his campaign. That's what I'm worried about.
If it go wrong, it's gonna help it. You
Would
know,
you Would you say?
if it goes somewhat wrong,
Yeah,
like
if it goes wrong, and if which one's most likely to go wrong is the one with the porn star, right? In my opinion,
right,
because it's
because I'm
just
like,
not. Yeah.
it's crazy to me because it's like, we if you're
I
gonna
mean,
like,
I'm
I don't
glad
know
it
how that.
happened. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad it happened, but it's kind of like a sugar high because now it's like, I don't know.
It's
Like,
crazy. It's
yeah,
just crazy, bro. Because I'm like, if he committed crimes, man, like I told you, he should be going to jail if he committed these crimes, man. Um, ain't no defending if he committed the crimes, but I'm like, are these really going to stick though? Because every time we turn on like the CNNs and all the other stuff, they always telling us about the crimes he committed, but
right.
why
And
was
they've
he not
been doing
in jail
that for
for that?
10,000 years.
Right? And I'm like, I'll just sit around and I'll be like, we. I've been wanting some action to happen, so I'm like, well, shit, they using this, if everything pan out like what you just said, um, shit, that's his problem then. You know what I mean? Shit, the
Yeah,
porn star thing. I don't know if that'll stick, but you know, you already know these people get galvanized, and if it don't stick,
right.
it's going to send out a whole fucking shockwave to a group of
Yeah,
people that believes everything that person say. So it's
right.
like, my whole thing is,
Then it's going to be like R. Kelly in 2002 or where? When was
I
that?
would,
2008? 2008? I don't know.
but the thing about it is, he got the money. You know what I'm saying? He got
Yeah,
the resources. I ain't gonna say the money, the resources to handle. Pretty much get out this in a way. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, he's got the attorneys. He's got the support. You know, he can always get raise more money.
right.
He's good at raising money. I mean, that's one thing.
and these like I said, I'm just you remember when we had that discussion, about not discussion, but we talked about it on prior lives about the Republican Democrat thing. My thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
you know, what I'm seeing is people are not really they just they just go with the most popular thing. You know what I'm saying?
that's
To
true.
me, in the
Uh,
popular way, they don't.
that's
You
true.
know,
That's this general way. I mean, most people are not like me who are ideological. Like I'm ideologically left, like that doesn't have to do with what's popular or not.
right?
That's just who I am, no matter what. So I'm gonna always vote for like the farthest left, pretty much. I mean, I don't believe in communism, but I do believe in a mixed economy where we embrace socialism and capitalism and mix them so that we don't have homeless people, we don't have people who are starving, we don't have people who don't have health care, like I think like a basic social safety net, which actually most of Europe has, um,
Right.
you know, um, or actually, and most of the first world had, I mean, all of the first world except for us has universal health care.
But
Uh,
what's
yeah,
crazy to me is we got other countries, small. You could say they smaller. You know what I'm saying, in numbers or
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah,
they're kind of like pretty much you can use them as the test to what will work. You know what I'm saying?
right.
That
And
could
well,
work
yeah,
here.
that's my opinion. Yeah, if it worked there, like, why wouldn't it work here?
Yeah, because
Um,
it don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense to because I'm in Florida, and the area I
yeah,
live in Florida, it's a whole bunch of you go certain places, they're abandoned hotel areas. You know what I'm saying? They abandon all these things. I'm like, you can easily turn that to a shelter, or you know what I'm saying? It's just sitting
yeah,
there,
yeah,
and they're not just years.
right,
They're talking about 10 years sitting there, and it grew so much around it, you wouldn't even know if it was there. You understand what I'm saying? Why we
right,
can't rehabilitate those areas to cater to people with mental illnesses or
yeah.
homelessness? You know what I'm saying, or something like that, to at
I
least
like you.
alleviate.
I like your thinking, man. You don't sound like a Republican, but I like your thinking.
Right. Listen, it ain't about being a Republican. It's just common sense. It's like you want to like I
Yeah,
want
but
to help people, man.
yeah, but the Republicans I know don't think like that. They
Man,
just
listen, because
they're like, I don't want to spend a cent on it. It's my piece of the pie. I earned it. Whatever happens to other people, that's just how it goes. It's survival of the fittest.
but you
That's
got to
how
do some
that's
type of.
kind of how like most Republicans I know think.
But if that's
Uh,
the case, poor people shouldn't be Republican then.
I don't see. I know that there are poor people who are Republicans. I just don't know those Republicans.
Right.
The
Because they bet.
Republicans I know are upper, upper middle class or higher,
Hmm.
and so they think different. I like I'm sure that if you talk to a lot of like poorer Republicans, it's different. Like they'd probably agree that there needs to be social services. Uh, I don't think that a lot of them would disagree with that. I think that they disagree with Democrats because, well, for one, the parties are not allowed to not be corrupt because you can pay to own politicians in this country.
Right.
But that's one thing. So it kind of makes people cynical. But also, like, I think that like I told you before, there's this narrative about wokeism, whatever the hell that means, and you can just make that mean whatever you want to mean, and they'll just say, well, the left is too woke, or well, they
But,
don't say the left is too woke. They say the Democrats are too woke, or the
but,
liberals are too woke. They've,
but see,
uh,
that's why I disagree with the
yeah,
Republicans on because I'm like, you got to, it's like I tell you, it's got to be some type of balance, man. If you out here and you see a lot of things, you like, man, you really, you like, I don't have the means. I'm not going to say how I do, but if I had the means to help people, I would definitely help people, definitely the masses if I could, you
yeah,
know. And these people are struggling almost everywhere.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you tell me to
I
tell me
agree.
all this money's has been jubilated through this country, and you telling me we can't just build buildings, you know what I'm saying, to house
We
these people,
can, we can.
or hold on, bringing Warrior up right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just crazy to me. What's up, Warrior?
But yeah, I mean, on Trump, I
Hey,
mean,
y'all.
I don't like him as a person, which is totally different than politics. I just think he's a bad person, and I don't like him for that. Kind of like R. Kelly. So like it's a whole different thing with him versus other Republicans.
Right.
Other Republicans, I hate their policies, but like as humans, I don't know. Like I'm not sure. But with Trump, it's like I just think he's also like a you either. But some people like that. They like assholes. They like people who are royal assholes. So that's I think the people that like Trump, it's because they're kind of assholes, and they're like, wow, you speaking my language because I'm an asshole. So,
Right.
you know, anyway,
But that's the thing.
that's
Like
my 2 cents.
with ain't it's a time like we all can be assholes at for time to
Yeah,
time.
yeah, of course, of course, of course. But
But
like, yeah,
sometimes it's like I don't. Let me say like I tell you, like I tell everybody, I don't hate them. I really don't despise them. It's just some of the stuff I don't. I just don't understand
yeah,
why. You know what I'm saying? Why do it? If you want to do certain things, you do what you do. But I just don't. I just can't. Certain stuff I just can't get down with. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, I mean, he's a Republican. He's totally different than me on
We
policy.
don't
So,
like him over here.
on policy, I would never support that guy anyway. You know, like we're just different. We're just different. I don't believe that tax cuts for the rich are the way to solve everything, like he does. Like his only legislative accomplishment during his whole presidency was a huge tax cut that favored billionaires and basically steals money from the rest of us, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So, you know,
Wow.
um,
it's
well,
he. I don't. It's hard for me to really understand how the rest of the world or whatever love like
You went out.
we don't like him. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. I hear you now. I hear you now.
I was gonna say over here in New Jersey, in New York, we don't like him. Like he is considered a bad person here.
yeah, yeah. Same with California. I mean, most of California. Not obviously not Orange County or Kern County where Bakersfield is, but pretty much the rest of the country hates him. Or
And see,
sorry, rest of the state. I'm sorry.
now,
You
cause my
know,
whole thing is y'all like I
but
said,
it's his policies for me. It's ultimately it's his policies. Forget his horrible personality. It's also his policies. I don't support that. I don't support huge tax cuts for billionaires. It's
but
not my thing. It's not my thing.
but SpongeBob, I think he like to me, that TV show he used to be on. I think he just carried that persona with him. He acts like that all the time, and it
Yeah,
rubs people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? With that person, because it's like, dude, you like
yeah. But even if it's a persona, I don't like that persona. It's just not my cup. Not my. You know,
because
I don't like
even
I don't like people who are assholes all the time. Yeah, everyone's an asshole sometimes. You're right, but like the frequency of him being like that, it's just like all the time, and it just gets old to me.
When
And
we found out he was running for president, we actually thought it was a joke. Like it was literally like a joke for
really,
months around here. We thought it was a joke.
when he was said he was running for president, first thing I said to people, he's gonna win because I know there's a lot of people who think like him. So
but see
you
the
know,
thing that has me tripping out um with him is
second
he
time he didn't win though because I think that's because of the policy, not only the policies, but also how he handled major situations,
right.
especially the issue of race. I think a lot of people didn't like that.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a
Yeah,
question, because when he with him, he gives you this whole like what he does. I think he plays on a certain audience. You know what I'm saying? That believes in conspiracies, a lot of conspiracies.
oh yeah,
So it's like when he plays on it, you got a lot of people that think that way. And I'd be like, I don't tell people they wrong. I don't want to tell them they wrong really for the way they think. But I'm like, he's playing on it, not really playing. You know what I'm saying? Playing on it to the tune that these people really believe this shit.
yeah,
And
and that's again that's veering away from what I care about is policy. So I mean, that's fine. I mean, if our country wants to destroy itself and like elect people like this, there's nothing I can do to stop it. But
Right.
I mean, I'm just gonna be me. I'm thinking about people living in tents. I'm thinking
Mm.
about single moms who need help.
Right. Because
I'm
you
I'm not thinking about conspiracy theories because they don't attract me. I, you know, I mean, they can be fun to speculate on some of them sometimes, but it's not going to be like why I vote for someone ever. Uh, so
some people, bro,
uh, yeah,
some people, like I said, it's not just them because I can sit there and we can debate some of anything. You know what I'm saying? And I
yeah,
can
of
go both
course,
sides with it. But you gotta have some type of even balance. I'm like, bro, if everything he said was true and it's transpired, it would have transpired by now. You know what I'm saying? Hell would have, shit would have went
well,
fucking.
it's just like the R. Kelly stuff. I don't see any difference. It's not surprising to me that I see R. Kelly supporters. A lot of them support Trump because the same type of thing. It's like they're following something that's not going to come true. That's not true. It's a conspiracy theory in a way, thinking that this guy's innocent, for example, and that people are out to get him, when in fact he hurt kids. I'm talking about R. Kelly now.
Right.
Yeah,
But like Trump, it's the same thing. It's like people just believe these nonsensical conspiracy theories, and they'll just buy into them, and they'll think, oh, that's what I'm going to follow, and I can't stop America. America's a free country. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I think it hurts the country if people are focused on conspiracy theories when we could have built more bridges and roads and infrastructure and airports and given a lot more jobs.
No,
Uh,
he just flew everybody in
just
from all around the world and put them up in his hotels and wrote it off. I mean, he paid like basically he had parties his whole daggone term on the taxpayers' dollars.
for
yeah,
real.
That's what he did,
abs-
and
absolutely.
and he made money off of it because who did he pay for to stay? He paid to Trump. That's his freaking hotels. So he paid himself to throw parties.
Yeah, that's part of what he did. Yeah,
Damn.
um, among a million other things I could list, but I don't really want to, unless you guys want to. I don't really want to go
Yeah,
into
I
you can
don't.
go
everything.
ahead and speak on it. So as long
Okay,
as
well, I'll tell you one thing that
I
I'll tell you two things actually that really pissed me off from a policy perspective. One is a lot of the reason why he got traction in the Republican primary is he was a weird Republican. He was saying he's going to support Social Security and Medicare. All the rest of them were saying, cut it, cut it, cut it. And he was saying, no, keep it, right? And then same with healthcare. He's like, no, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to have something that covers everybody. It's going to be fantastic. So he's basically supporting single payer Medicare for all healthcare. But it turns out just to be a bunch of bullshit. It's just a way to lie to people to get some elderly people or people who don't have health care to vote for him. And then he doesn't care about those things at all. He just cares about what's going to help him. Ultimately, what he's about is himself.
That's what it
What's,
comes down to.
yeah, what's going to help him? And I think, you know, uh, that's what I find most problematic about him. I don't think that it's a good leader is someone who only cares about themselves. Yes, every leader is probably on that level has to have some degree of narcissism, some degree of arrogance to them. But I think he's just those things to the extreme. Um, and I think he's a cruel person. I do believe he sexually assaulted all the women that have accused him of it. I do believe
Mm.
he's raped women. I do believe that 13-year-old girl that filed a lawsuit against him. for raping him, raping her, and
Wow.
I believe it. I believe all of them because
I
I look at
believe
him
it
like
too.
this guy's an awful person. Yeah, why wouldn't he do it? Of course he did it. And the fact that people don't understand he's an awful person is baffling. And the fact that all these rich, white, poor people who vote for him uh, don't understand that he doesn't care about their interests. He
At
wants to
all.
he wants to destroy their unions. He
Hmm.
wants to eliminate minimum. He wants to. Sorry, yeah, he wants to get rid of minimum wages so they can make slave wages.
Hmm.
He wants to increase their working hours, decrease, uh, time off. Everything you can think
Hmm.
of from like an inhumane perspective, he supports that in reality. And
But as America, why
yeah,
would anyone want to support that? You know what I mean?
because
Like
he's
we're in
not
the
honest
United
about
States
it.
of America.
Because he lies. He doesn't say these are things he believes. But if you look at what he actually supports, I mean, he talked, quietly. He gathered with people and said he wants to get rid of Social Security and Medicare. He
Right.
never had a plan to replace Obamacare. In fact, he tried to just cut it basically and make it worse.
Let me ask you a
Uh,
question. Did
yeah.
he lie? I heard some kind of chatter about him lying about some secret, um, like some confidential information coming out. Like
What
basically,
what
he
kind
has
of it?
some kind of confidential
I mean,
information that,
you mean the documents, the
yeah. Did he
classified
lie about
documents?
the classified documents? Did he lie about that?
Yes, he
He
lied
did lie about it, cause I heard chatter about it.
many times, which is why I suspect if there's any real justice in this world, he'll be charged with obstruction of justice related to withholding
Mm,
classified documents. I think that's,
okay.
that would be a legitimate charge because he
That's messed up.
lied about having the documents. He lied about how many he had. They keep finding more miraculously that he
See, I
knows he
heard
lied
chatter
about.
about it, but I never found
Yeah,
out if it was true or not.
with him, you should just assume whatever he says, it's a lie.
True. Okay.
You're not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. That's why I look like fuck that.
I mean, I know politicians lie, but he's the biggest liar of all time.
Dr. Bree said, she said she was just talking about it the other
Who,
day.
who
So
was?
yeah, she was just talking about it. She says the other day she had so many details not to believe her, and I was like, shit. I heard about it, but I didn't deep dive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Into per se what was said and what was done, because a lot of, like I said, a lot of this shit, man, is we can miss it easily because some of the shit they pump, and then some of the shit they say it, and then they just, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
It disappears.
what? Okay, let me even tell you what worries me more than any of that. Uh, I think this man truly is a Hitler or Mussolini type or Vladimir Putin type. I think that he wants to be dictator of the United States, not president, dictator. He wants to, you know, uh, control us the way that a third world dictator controls a country, and that's his end game. And I do believe a lot of his supporters like the idea of that in theory because they think, well, we're going to be the beneficiaries of that dictatorship. No, you're not.
No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. Look, if you look at Russia, like the ones who make all the money are the ones who are best friends with Vladimir Putin, not
Right.
just his supporters. There's lots of his supporters who are dead broke.
Right.
But so unless you're good friends with Trump, you're kind of fucked under a dictatorship.
But
Like
speaking
yeah,
of Putin, did you
yeah,
hear Kamala Harris' speech when she was saying that the United States is serving notice on Russia, saying that they're charging them with crimes against humanity?
yes, I did, and
What do you think?
I I I have mixed feelings about that. I don't know if we should be broadcasting that they're war criminals until we
What
win.
could we? What could we? I would say, what could we do at this point?
What could we do?
At this point, legally.
We can continue to arm Ukraine and let Ukraine defeat Russia because they are badasses, the
Right.
You think
Ukrainian army.
Ukraine beating Russia for real?
I do with our
Right
help,
now, I
not
do. We
not
had
with
not on
not
their own.
yeah. If we withdraw help, no, but they are. I mean, they took back a lot of land from Russia. Once we armed them, they've taken back a lot of land already.
Hmm.
So I think they could ultimately do it, but the problem is then what does Vladimir Putin do? That's what no one knows.
Mm, that's what
That
makes me nervous.
no one really knows. Is this guy going to lose his mind at some point, no matter what, right? Like if we didn't stop him, he would just roll through Europe like Hitler and take
That
over everything,
that's
kill,
crazy.
murder people by the millions to get whatever he wants. So if we
Hmm.
didn't stop him, that's what would happen. Okay.
Yeah, well, Kamala Harris, she was kind of how can I put this, stern in her speech.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, she thinks he's a war criminal, and that a lot of Russians are war criminals. They are. A lot of them are. If you were to actually, I know a lot of people don't look into this or don't follow foreign policy very much, but it's very sad. There's been a lot of um, rapes and torturing and murder, like torture to death type murders of innocent Ukrainians by Russian
Right, but
soldiers,
charging them like by her putting, she
including
said that we're
kids.
so.
Yeah,
She said that the United States is serving notice on them, right? So when
yeah,
she says that we're serving notice on them,
yeah.
what does that actually mean?
Doesn't mean anything because
Okay.
the only way the only way we could uh, enforce that would be for Russia to hand Vladimir Putin over for prosecution and his cronies over for prosecution. There would have to be a coup within the country to overthrow the fascist government. Um,
Mm,
That's a hard thing to do.
oh yeah, fuck yeah, that's hard to do. I don't think anyone really knows what the fuck is gonna happen over there. The only thing I do know for sure is if we just said we withdrew our weapons or whatever, and what like it's gonna be just like Hitler. It's appeasement, and he'll just start taking over country after country after country, and then we'll be really freaked out because then he'll have even more control over land resources and nuclear weapons. So,
Wow.
um,
But
I know people don't see the connection to Ukraine, United States. I think it's costing us hardly anything too as Americans. The cost of arming Ukraine is very, very small
mm,
compared to other wars we've been in, like Afghanistan or Iraq. It's a drop in the bucket, really. I forgot
mm,
how much it's. Gosh, there's this guy who like computed it out. It's something like $5 a month per American is what it's
mm.
costing us, or something like that. I guess that is something, you know, $60 a year. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
if
forgot
you
what the
add it
number. I
all
forgot.
up,
Yeah,
I mean, when you add it all up, the money can be spent here in America on some other stuff. I mean, we got a whole lot of. You know what I don't understand?
but it's
How
not that
come?
much. It's
No,
not
it's
that
it's
much
really
though.
not a lot. My
Yeah.
thing is that how come like everyone looks to America to fix certain things, or why does America always have their nose in other people's business? Like sometimes that just annoys me because we have so many problems here
Well,
that's
I
not
agree
fixed.
with you. Well, I agree with you depending on the circumstance. Like Iraq, we wasted trillions for no reason. Afghanistan, we
Yeah,
botched
I
that
didn't even
royally
understand why the
and
hell we
wasted
was even
trillions.
in Iraq. I didn't because I'm like, it
Uh,
was
uh,
like, oh,
well,
Afghanistan attacked us, let's go attack Iraq.
we
I
were there
never
based on
understood that.
on a lie. I mean, we were there based on a lie, and and these
And then it
cronies of
took us
yeah.
forever to find this man. And then once, I mean, it didn't take Obama long, but I don't know how much work he, did. I don't know how much he went off of the previous administration, if he just picked up from there. But it just seemed like Obama caught his ass mighty damn quick.
Yeah. I there is a conspiracy theory, but I'm not sure how much I'll entertain it. That there were financial dealings between the Bush family and the Bin Ladens.
Well, they showed
So
pictures after 9/11 of Bush on the damn porch with their family.
yeah,
Like,
that's true. I don't know. I haven't looked into that, to be honest. I just know the whole thing was a big royal waste of money in Iraq.
look,
And
9/11 was a mess.
and
Look,
American lives as well.
you know, I'm sure everybody remember where they was at 9/11, and by me being right here where it happened, like that, man. I live in New Jersey, but we was able to see the smoke from the buildings in New York from where we live. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
Damn.
It was
but
bad.
but Iraq didn't do that. They weren't
No,
involved.
Iraq didn't do it. That's why I didn't understand why the hell we went there. Why
And we
was we
spent
there?
trillions. People are
And
complaining
spent all
about
that money.
the same people who are complaining about Ukraine now in Congress, Republicans, are same people who supported the Iraq war, where we spent trillions and trillions of
Now,
dollars.
now does Ukraine offer what because they say they went over there for oil. A lot of people say oil and all that, right?
Yeah,
Don't Ukraine have those resources also?
yeah, Ukraine does have oil, and that could partially explain why we're there, but I don't think that's the main factor. I think the main factor is we're trying to do our best to try to avoid World War III, but it may happen anyway. I guess
So
that's the way I look at it.
so would it be
Or
inhumane?
I mean, it's either we're gonna have World War III or Vladimir Putin's gonna be taken out of power by his own people. I think.
Oh,
I don't see any other solution.
so hold
I
on.
mean, yeah,
Would it be inhumane? Because you know how they did. I think what they call that when they dropped that atomic bomb in Japan.
yeah.
Would they need those for Russia?
Would we do that to them, or would they?
Yeah.
I mean,
Will we do it to them?
no. God, I hope not. Because
I think that would be
they
inhumane.
have they have the most nuclear weapons in the world. So
I was gonna
Right.
say they gonna hurt. They
they
gonna kill us if we do
we
that. They gonna
the,
kill us.
the world's over. I mean, literally. I mean, I don't mean to sound pessimistic, but the world would be over
And we
if
can't do it.
Russia or the United States were to nuke one.
Oh God.
If
Yeah.
we were to nuke one or the other, like it's yeah, it's the end of the world. I don't know how else to say. God, I don't want to sound so pessimistic.
But you know what's crazy?
I'm just trying to be honest about the situation.
It's crazy because when I look at the government as a whole and I look at the position of Russia and then look at the amount of Russian citizens who work for the United States government,
Mhm.
sometimes it's like, how do we know where the loyalty lie?
I have no
Like what
idea.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
what if
I don't know.
what
I
if
don't know
what
what
if
goes into that.
ah yeah, it gets deep. Like far as like
But
system wise.
we got
Mm,
spies over there too.
yeah, I know.
They got some here. We got
You know
They
we
some
do.
got one.
here.
Is that dude really a spy or is he a journalist that they're
Which
holding? The one that they
Uh,
wanted to trade when they had Brittany, the basketball player, and it was another dude that they said was a spy. But some
oh my
people
god!
saying he's a reporter. Your alarm going off again?
Listen,
uh,
it don't go off until I go live.
It sounds like a car alarm. I swear it sounds like a car alarm. But
I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I didn't
They've
follow
had him
that
for like
situation.
5 years or something, 5 or 7 years. They've had this man.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't. I'm like, is he really a spy?
that's one thing I don't know about. That's funny because I know so much about that war.
Mm.
I know so much about like the history and the different policy positions and the
Well, I'm sure you
lies.
know a lot about history. A
And
lot of lawyers know about history and English.
I, I'm just like everyone has a nerd. I mean, not everyone, but some people have a nerdy, really nerdy thing. I'm in general, I'm nerdy, but
Mm.
yeah, I mean, history is kind of like my nerd thing in general, and also like geopolitics and foreign policy. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's funny because I know so many things about that war, and I do not know about the situation you're talking about. Obviously, I remember the situation with the basketball player,
Yeah, it
but
was two that they wanted to make a trade for, but the guy that they wanted, what they said was a spy over here. But Biden
I,
said we don't have him, so we couldn't give
I
him
don't
up.
know. I mean, I don't. Putin's like Trump, though. He lies about everything. I don't know. I don't believe anything that comes out of the Russian government. They will
Right.
they will say anything, and they'll say it with a straight face, and people will believe them. I mean, they'll believe Vladimir Putin when he says, "Oh no, the United States is interfering with this. This is not has nothing to do with them. They should be out of this." When he
Hmm.
knows damn well that what he's
Right.
following is the roadmap to take over Europe, which was created by his philosopher friend. God, what the hell's that guy's name? The guy with the beard, whose daughter got a car bomb. Why am I blanking on that? Man, I'm getting old. 45, and then you just start losing your memory.
Man,
Hey, no, you don't.
But yeah,
I'm 46.
Putin has like this.
I feel you on that.
Putin has like a philosopher guy that he is kind of like. They call him Putin's brain, and
Mm,
he wrote a book called Foundation of Geopolitics, which is, you know, we we lie, cheat, steal, do whatever we can to take over all of Europe, and ultimately, the idea is for us to control the whole world, and the United States and is like a satellite country of Russia and just does whatever we tell them to do. And that's why we want to elect people. We want to help support people in America who will cause division, who will cause chaos. And that's why they love Trump, because they know that he hurts America.
right.
That's
But
why
why does
Putin, yeah.
why I don't even understand that concept with in all the countries. Like, why does anybody want to
Oh,
take over anybody country? Just let every
sorry,
country
I
just
just
be
want to
themselves.
say, yeah, I just want to say his name is Alexander Dugin. That's the name of him.
Alexander
Sorry.
Dugin.
Yes,
What?
he's probably the worst human being on the
You
face of the
say he's a
planet.
philosopher?
Yeah, well, supposedly, but I think he's just a fascist neo-Nazi type, if you want to know the
Mm,
truth, who
I never
disguises
heard of him
himself
before.
in fancy language and philosophy. He's a horrible human being, and he's the one in Putin's ear all the time, and he's the one who also pushes the far right in Russia to continue the Ukraine war. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, everything in his book that he made, I believe in the 90s or early 2000s, like pretty much everything's coming true that he put in there.
I
Um,
wonder why.
you know, so and that's part of the reason I don't understand. That's among a million other reasons. Speaking of Trump, why, I don't understand why Americans support Trump. I don't understand why people in the UK support Brexit or Boris Johnson or these other idiots. Um, I don't understand
You think they
what the
scared not to?
scared what not to
Not
support
to.
Trump
No, I ain't talking about Trump. I'm talking about in the other countries because some of those
in
countries
the
have
UK.
strong culture. No,
In
I'm
the UK.
talking about like in Russia.
Oh no, in Russia you have to support the government, or you don't support if you openly are critical of Vladimir Putin, you could lose your life.
And
So,
see that right there, I don't.
and
I mean,
that's what Trump wants here. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like Trump wants this here for himself. He wants to be the traitor leader that Alexander Dugin talked about in his book, where we're just a satellite country of Russia, and Putin tells him what to do, and as long as he gets lots of money and power and women, um, he doesn't give a shit. Destroy everyone else. Who cares? As long
I'm
as it
just saying, it's
benefits.
a lot of
As long as
crazy
it
stuff
benefits.
going on right here.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
Jim Crow, they got the
Oh
Roe
yeah. Yeah.
versus Wade. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of craziness that's going on right here, and we gonna
Oh
go try
yeah.
to fix somebody else's problems.
Whose problems are we trying to fix?
Anybody. They seem like anytime we go, we in war with everybody. Sometimes, like my cousin, two of my cousins are in the military, right? And
Yeah.
it just seems like they're always somewhere. Like one of my cousins, he did 3 tours in Afghanistan. One of my cousins did 2 tours in Iraq. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't think they're at war right now, but right now he's in Germany, but he get ready to retire, thank God. But I don't it just seems like they're just always somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I don't support. Actually, you know what? The Ukraine war is the only war I've actually supported
Mm.
in my lifetime that America has waged on another country.
My boss
So
is from
uh,
Ukraine.
there's literally no other war I've supported.
Hmm.
I mean, Afghanistan, I guess parts of it I supported, but it's like once you got Osama bin Laden, why the fuck are we still there?
Right.
Right.
Um, why the fuck are we there so long? Why the fuck did we take resources away and go to Iraq, who didn't do anything to us? Uh,
That part I didn't get at
um,
all.
like was a lot of fucking stupidity. Um,
Um,
so
That
yeah.
was about what that was about oil probably.
But and Ukraine's the cheapest war of all, and where no American lives are being lost because we're not even fighting in it. And yet that seems to be like on everyone's mind. Well, why can't we spend that money here? Well, why do we why did we spend trillions in Iraq and people were not as vocal about that? We could have ended poverty. We could have had Medicare for all. We could have
For
had
everybody.
we could
Everybody
have
could have been good.
right. We could have ended homelessness with that money.
We sure could have. I never
I
understood. I've
just
always spoke out against Iraq war. I never understood
yeah, me
why the
too.
hell are we there.
Me too. I was against it from the beginning, and you know, um, it is what it is. Anyway, so is that really what you wanted to talk about? Is politics, Fat Boy, or did
nah,
you have something else in
I
mind?
was just letting it
Or are
go
you
because
just
I was
gonna
gonna change it.
are you
I was
just
gonna
gonna
change the
wing it?
topic in a second. I just like when you
Okay,
guys,
good. I'm
I
like,
like
oh man, this stuff.
how it was going, so I
It's
just let it
hard.
go. But I wanted to,
It get
I
yeah,
do
it's
want to
hard to
talk
talk.
about
It's hard to talk
something I
about at
seen actually on
some point.
Tears.
Yeah.
I know, but it was said that it's hard. I want to talk about something Tears had posted the other day. I think it was 2 days ago, and it was about a little boy who got murdered by his father, I believe, and fed to the alligators.
Hmm.
Was
And
that
I wanted
real?
to,
In
and
Florida.
it didn't sound real, but then when she said Florida, it was like, yeah, it probably is.
Did you guys look at like to see if
They
it's by
found out I saw,
confirmed
yeah,
by
it's
like
confirmed.
reputable news sources? Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I
the
saw
Khadija thing
the press
was confirmed.
conference.
You saw the press
The-
conference? Is there any way you
Yeah,
can get
from
me that link
yeah,
because I
let
can
me
play it?
find it because I saw the press conference when he said that the baby's body was still intact inside of the alligator's mouth. Hold on, let me find it for you. I hope it's still in my
But
things.
yeah, when I hear stuff like that, obviously I agree with you 100% that we've got so many of our own problems here too. We should not go to war with other countries unless it's an absolute last resort, or support any country in any war unless it's an absolute last resort. That's my view on war. Because generally it's wasteful and it's a stupid way of trying to resolve things in general. So we'd be much better off spending money here to build America up as a nation.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than just wasted on stupid wars. Well,
Not because like when you hear stories like this and
Yeah, exactly.
stuff,
Like something is wrong, right? Like something is fucking wrong in this country. You can't just say it has nothing to do with the country. That's just an individual. Like
nah, that's
there.
troublesome.
Yeah, if something like that's even happening at all, that's insane. Um, uh, obviously, all of us are in OCOV because we want to protect victims, right? Not just, I mean, yes, women and girls, but kids, right? And yeah, so
Thank you, Warrior.
You're welcome.
Hold on, I'm going to get it right now. I want to see the press because I didn't,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I
put up
I didn't
whatever.
bother me seeing that.
I'm interested in this.
Oh man, you sent it directly to me. You should have put it in the chat.
Oh, hold on. Let me put it in there.
I got it. I got it. I got
You
it.
got it?
I'm gonna put it in the chat, but I'm gonna click it on my live.
Okay. You
Yeah.
know I'm slow. Stop playing.
Nah, girl, you listen. You ain't slow. You just a Delta.
Whatever.
You know. You know how them Deltas can be at times. Well, they so smart.
Whatever. You got jokes.
Yeah. I told you, y'all are smart. Y'all be running. Y'all be, man.
I
They
know
got
we
some.
smart.
Yeah, y'all ain't no. Y'all ain't,
Did that sound self-absorbed?
yeah, a little bit, but you can do that. You can have that. You can have that. You know, I respect them. Yeah, you know,
You better.
I respect them. They hold on. I got it right here, guys. I'm finna pull it up. It's a 7-minute clip. YouTube, I do not own the
I'm gonna
rights.
go on mute.
I do not own the rights to this. So let me go here. Boom. And it really happened in Florida. I can't believe that shit. Jesus Christ. Fucking A.
St. Petersburg, Florida police chief announcing that with great sadness, the body of Talon Mosley has been found, that 2-year-old boy who was missing for some time. His father now is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Let's listen to the chief announce this very, very sad news in this brief press conference that was held just moments ago.
It's with great sadness I have to inform you here today that Talon's body has been found. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones. We are sorry that it had to end this way. Through investigative technique, we were able to find an area around Delhome Park that led the investigators to that area. The detectives had been there all afternoon, and while they were there, they were spotted an alligator with an object in his mouth. As the detective got closer, they fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth, and we were able to retrieve Talon's body intact. The father, Thomas Mosley, is now being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. I can tell you now that Talon's mom, Miss Jeffries, her body was stabbed multiple times. Until the medical examiner has a chance to look at Talon's body, we cannot tell you the cause of death. I would like to thank all the law enforcement agencies that assisted us today or since Wednesday, and a special thanks to our detectives here at St. Pete Police Department. These men and women have worked tirelessly since Wednesday at 2:30 trying to find Talon for a better outcome. But again, that didn't happen. Needless to say, tomorrow we don't need the volunteers to come out to assist us in looking for Talon, but I just want to again thank everybody for volunteering to come out to help us. With that, remember this is an ongoing investigation, so I will try to answer some of your questions.
Chief, after almost 2 days of looking for little Talon, I know you've had so many crews on the ground searching, brought in, all hands on deck, like you said. I mean, this has got to be tough for your team to see things end like this after all your hard work.
It's very tough because these men and women, again, since Wednesday at 2:30, they've been working tirelessly trying to find Talon. And we didn't want to find him this way, but at least we can bring some closure to that family now. Again, there's emotions up and down because as they're doing investigating, they're following up the leads that we were hoping that we could find him alive. So these detectives and these law enforcement agency officers, they go through a lot. And tomorrow, guess what? They got to start all over again doing something else. But my hat off to these men and women for being able to do this.
Yeah, what about the motive?
At this time, we're not going to talk about that. Again, we're still doing this ongoing investigation.
If someone spoke with you at all, kind of what was the reaction to once the alligator is shot, to seeing that as a human body that the alligator had, if the officer that found him was able to speak to that?
I'm sorry, you were asking about.
I guess, what was the reaction, I guess, to seeing the human body in an alligator's mouth after that shot was fired?
Well, I can't tell you that. Just think about anybody. The officer sees a body of a child. What would be your reaction to that? What would you think? So that officer, he or she has to, they've been working for Wednesday and they see a child in an alligator's mouth. So they got to do their job, but at the same time, I can't tell you their reaction. I can tell you probably a lot of emotion went through their body, but they still had to do their job.
How does one separate the job and the emotion, if that's even possible?
These men and women do it each and every day. They come to work, they investigate a case. They got to put a case together to make sure that Mosley get convicted of this. So they got to do their job on that, and they do it. They do it quite well.
Chief, are those two counts of first-degree murder, is that one for Passion, one for Talon, or what are those counts for? Is he charged with both of their deaths or just Passion's death?
He's charged with both of their deaths. One count for Passion and one count for Talon.
But you said the cause of death for the child is still pending, right? So we don't know if he was deceased before he went into the lake or after.
That is correct. So that's what we're trying to determine.
And then where is this lake in relation to the apartment complex?
So how far away is that?
It's miles.
It's several miles.
So it just have to be an intentional act, not like he just wandered out.
So let's just give you an example. Where the incident happened is way out on Gandy in 4, Lake McGorry is at 22nd South.
Is any Wydell Home Park, is that where the father lives?
Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and through investigation technique, we were able to zone in on that area.
And Chief, we heard that Mosley went to the hospital with cuts. Can you tell us if there was a fight back from Passion, if she was stabbed by him?
Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and I can tell you, like I said, when he went to check himself into the hospital, he had cuts to his hands and to his arms.
Do we know if he's still in the hospital?
He is still there.
Since your last update, has he said anything to you? Or has he said anything about anything?
When the detectives went out and spoke to him, he didn't want to talk to the detectives, and then later on, he asked for an attorney.
You said police fired a round at the alligator. Have you taken the alligator in at all, or is the alligator back in the lake?
The alligator was killed.
Alligator was killed.
Okay, so a very, very sad, gruesome story there.
Yeah, we're gonna stop that right there.
Wow, that's a horrible.
Yeah. So
Horrible story.
So
Obviously, the father needs to go to prison forever. So,
but we got stuff like that going on out here in this world.
yeah.
And like I said, it saddens me that this even happened. It just sucks to hear something like this, and it's disgusting, man.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
So you kill the mother of your child, and you kill your child, and you feed them to the gators.
Yeah. I don't even know what would drive a person to that level of anger or hate or whatever was going on there. Sounds like some serious mental illness. The person probably should have been in heavy duty mental health care. I don't know if he was, but if he wasn't, that's a mess up.
Right. Was there any signs of anything?
I don't know.
But they said he got admitted with cuts and stuff. Like, did he cut himself?
He could have cut himself to make it like it was trying to say it was some type of defense, but it's
Especially when he stabbed her up.
right. Like, what would be the, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you can do or say can justify that. First, you
Mm-mm.
murdered her, then you murdered the child, and that's supposed to be your child, and you, man, this is
Like
crazy.
that makes me wonder, like, what's going on in the minds? Like, what's happening? Like we killing kids and women, and we feeding them the alligators and putting them in microwaves, and like, what is actually happening in someone's mind? And where is the disconnect with the parent? Like, as a parent, something has to be disconnected from that child for you to harm that child like that.
Right. And that's my whole thing. Like, never ever. What this should be, this. I know it probably had to suck for that guy to, get on the, the podium and talk like that. But it's like, damn, man, this is shit. We got all this going on around us and the craziness, and I feel like sometimes we just worry about the wrong shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People need to get, seek help, man, and some type, because you can't say it's a sign. I don't know. People always want to say they're telltale signs and all of that, but we don't know telltale signs for you to kill your girl and your kid and feed them to the gators. I don't know what signs you can get from that. That's absolutely this.
I don't know. Was
That's
there
some
any
next level
prior
stuff I ain't never heard
abuse?
of. Boy.
Like, I don't know. I ain't never heard nobody feed nobody to to the alligators like that.
Like, I
Like,
heard of it because I'm from here,
I
but
well, we don't have alligators in New Jersey, so
I heard of it, but I'm just saying, like,
I heard of people being fed to pigs.
to pigs,
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
I've
Pigs.
never heard of that either.
Oh, pigs will eat people. Yeah, if you starve the shit out of them and then you throw a person in the middle, yeah, they'll tear that person apart. Yeah.
I heard of them. I've heard of them putting people under cement, and I've heard of them putting them in the bathtub, pouring acid on them. I've never heard of them like feeding them to anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard of feeding them.
ugh.
I heard of the gator thing. You go out there with them gators. You know what I'm saying? We'll
Yeah,
feed it to
that's-
them gators. But I ain't never heard of.
Yeah, like Randa said, everything doesn't have a sign.
Yeah, but and it's the thing.
It's a lot of damn signs on YouTube, but I ain't gonna talk about them. Go ahead.
Yeah, everything doesn't have
Mental
a
health
side.
is real. Mental
Listen.
health is real.
Listen, man, we know it is. People think like it's just crazy as fuck because it's like you can't even diagnose that shit. That dude probably had no issues, and then one day just flipped out and just went completely berserk.
But even
Really? Is
so,
that what
Fat
happened?
Boy, if he did do that, like, where is the disconnect with that child? Like, I don't know. Maybe because I can't see it. I love my son. I do. I love both my boys, and like, there is no way in the world I could ever imagine doing something like that. Like now, I might whip his ass, but I'm not gonna harm him.
Yeah, I mean, that's like 99% of parents, including myself. Like, our kids are the world to us, right?
Right.
Even if they piss us off.
Right, right, and they can piss you off sometimes. You don't want to
Oh
be
yeah.
like, what did like
No,
your
I'm not
kid
gonna
piss you off?
kill anyone.
I'm gonna feed you to the alligators. Like, really?
Jesus
Nah.
Christ.
That's taking that. And I heard jokes. You know the jokes on some of the things. I'm gonna draw you down by the lake and all of that. But did anybody like we had one lady who did drive her kids into the lake though, but I mean to the ocean or some shit like that. But it's rare you ever actually hear someone really going through with the fuckery. You rarely you don't really see them like really going through with that. We always threat, but most people threat. But that dude legitimately went AWOL. Something
I
went
wonder
wrong.
if you watched the movie X. Have you heard of that movie? X.
Mm-mm.
In that movie, there's yeah, it's kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like this crazy old people who own this property that they feed guests to a crocodile that they have. I wonder if like I watched the movie and like said, "Oh, crocodile, alligator, okay." You know it's a movie, right? Though, dude.
It's real. Well, we
You know,
got
it's
gators down here.
supposed to be a movie. It's supposed to be a movie. Oh yeah, I know you guys do. I've been to Florida and seen those gators
I'm not
just like randomly sometimes.
but see, like like I know when we was like in elementary school and we was in early, earlier grades. They bring them to the school so you can touch them and feel on them and the snakes and all of that. So me being young, I'm not scared of them. You know what I mean? Like I done went to
You said they
alligator.
bring snakes and alligators to your
Yeah,
school.
yeah. When
They
we was
don't bring
going as a
that
kid.
shit to New Jersey schools.
So, but like when as a kid, I'll never forget my mama. The shore, you got the bank, y'all call them bank shore, whatever you want to call them, but we got these lakes and it was gator infested. But we out there fishing on the bank. We ain't on no dock. And you see them. You literally see them. And like, shoot, I wasn't scared. I was not immune to them, but shoot, they taught us what we need to do to run away. You understand what I'm saying? So, shoot.
Like, how do you prevent them from attacking you? Just in case I ever fucking.
You can't truly prevent them. You can't truly prevent them from attacking if they're going to come after you. But you can run like in a zigzag motion because they can't really zigzag like that to slow them down tremendously because they straight lines like this coming straight after you. It's incredible, man. They fast as hell, man. They can move. People they think they can't move, they can move. But otherwise, outside the water, you run the zigzag way, man. They got it's gonna be having hell to catch you. But they usually only come in and attack if they trying to protect. You know what I'm saying? Like something.
Yeah.
So say if you on there fishing on the bank and you over there by their eggs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Say stuff like that because the baby wants to say the truth. If they bite you, it's gonna sting. It's gonna sting, but it ain't like a 10-footer bite you. Your whole hand gone. You feel me? But that baby gets you can still go because like down here we got moccasins and they got stuff. We don't even get in lakes no more or put our feet in there because they got anivas.
What is that?
What was Branda says truth? I swear to God, I am waiting on you. Know what?
I know what she's talking about.
What the fuck? What's this?
I know what she's
secret?
talking about. I can't say it on the
Oh
live.
man.
But I know what she's talking about.
Secrets.
Yeah, I'll send you something sometime. Give me a second. SpongeBob all reading in the chat. I ain't thinking nobody looking at the chat.
Listen, I'm hitting the pen. Hey, not today. The devil get thee behind me. But listen, these people, but you piss. Say if you like in the water, it'll swim up your penis.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a little parasite that get into you like a little worm. But
shit.
You have to that's why I don't even want to put my thing in there because people love pissing in bodies of water. It's like pools and oceans and shit. And they got something that'll shoot up your dick. You can't.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm. But I want to go noodling though. I do want to go noodling. But they do that like when you put your hand in the catfish hole.
What kind of shit y'all doing in Florida?
Everybody's not doing that in Florida. Everybody's not doing
that. Noodling.
Noodling. It's a real
I've never
thing.
heard of that before.
And then I want to go boar hunting. And SpongeBob, you was on to something, bro. Those things, those wild boars are hell. They will kill you.
Yeah.
Just for you just being there. They're a gang. Shoot,
Wow,
some people call us a gang, but that's a real gang.
Yeah, I won't fuck with them.
Shoot, but it's you have to come out. It's a beautiful state, man.
Yeah, it is. I obviously it's red, but so is Orange County, and I still enjoy Orange County. So
the way Florida is presented to us,
I think as long as I don't talk about politics with people,
you have a great time.
Exactly. As long as
that's what if you keep because I'm gonna tell people. But that's the thing with people. They can't agree to disagree or even come together to try to make it better. And even I throw the YouTube, our sector in it. We can't even You see how that goes. You know what I'm saying? You got
Yeah.
the far right, and then you got the people who's moderate, and then you got the people who's like on our side, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, it's gotta and tell you the truth, everybody should be able to meet in the middle and have a discussion. And it's like, you know what? We'll go our separate ways. But it would never happen because
Well, that would have required R. Kelly though to also be cooperative.
right. But the thing about it is,
But he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight. So that was his choice. You know, he could have, and then probably among the supporters and the non-supporters, or the supporters of the women and the girls and the supporters of R. Kelly, we probably would have had less conflict. But
right. But
if
the thing,
if the person himself at the center of it chooses to fight really hard, then it's hard to do that because
but
the supporters are going to want to go along with him, right? So that's just, it would be human nature. If you're supporting someone, you're going to kind of like follow the way they're going.
Rand, I'm hitting my pen too, by the way.
Hey, wait, is Ivanka indicted? Purple said, is Ivanka indicted too?
I don't know. I don't know if she's invited or not.
Hmm. Sometimes I just be wondering, like, what's in the mind of these people, though. I don't understand it. I don't.
Yeah, just in general, I don't. Uh, but I do have to say, like, it's the exception, not the rule, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Most people I meet are just like anyone, like anyone
So
else.
but what makes that
Not, I
that
mean, the people,
switch
someone
go
who
off?
feeds their kids to alligators is not common. It's not common. That's why we're talking about it.
Right. Just like the lady, like we had someone in Camden, New Jersey. She put her baby in the microwave. I'm like, what?
Oh my
what
God.
the fuck,
Oh my
bro?
God.
Like,
I hate
I don't understand what's going. I'm like, what's happening? Like, I don't get this.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to go into it too much, but I just want to say that I'm not blame. Okay, this is a small cause among many other causes, but I do think our world has become more economically anxious, and that kind of drives people crazy. Like there used to be a time in this country you had one job, worked for one employer, you have an amazing a salary, you could easily buy a house and pay it off, and
You're
like
saying everybody greedy and the prices went up?
I'm just saying in general, like yeah, like greed and um, and less money being available to the middle class and to poor and to the working class, like it causes anxiety that is subconscious and kind of messes with people's heads, in my opinion. If you don't have, like, if you're in a red state and they want to take away your food stamps, your welfare benefits, they want to take away whatever, uh, disability benefits, unemployment, you know. I'm not saying this is okay. I cannot, by no means, can you blame all of our problems on that.
Right. I mean,
But
I get what
I'm
you're
just saying it's
saying.
one. I'm just saying it's one issue that I think about a lot because no,
Yeah, but just
I
look
just
at
do.
food alone right
But you
now.
can't believe. But there's personal responsibility. You know what I mean? Like no matter what's going on, you shouldn't feed your kids to alligators,
Right.
right? Or your woman.
I told my
So
I was telling my husband and them the other week. I was like, man, I'm about to put y'all on a diet because food is so high. It's not, eggs is damn near $9.
hold on. Eggs ain't $9 down here. Hell no.
It's damn near $9 for a dozen of eggs.
Well,
It's $8.69 for a
yeah,
dozen of eggs. I couldn't believe it.
yeah. Well, I can. I mean, I could have. No. It's only because I follow things because I'm nerdy, but I mean,
But how is what they
the
call middle class supposed to do that? They already charging us 24% in taxes. How the heck are we supposed to pay? Like my grocery bill went from like $300 and something every 2 weeks to damn near $600 every 2 weeks. So I'm
well,
spending $1,200 in food alone.
yeah, I mean, it's it's horrible. And I could go into details, but it comes down to two words.
Mind you, that's for
Oh,
3 people.
oh, jeez.
That's for 3 people.
I know why it's going down.
It comes down to two words: money printing. Money printing. Ever
We need to
since
print some more.
no, but I'm saying we printed money ever since 2008 to save the banking system. We've printed trillions. We also, print trillions to go to war, and we borrow trillions to go to war. All of this stuff devalues the dollar. Now, in my opinion, if you use that same money and you built up the infrastructure of the United States, it would increase and grow the economy. Okay, that's my theory from a leftist perspective.
It
Kind of
makes
like,
sense.
but instead we've spent the money to like bail out people who drive Lamborghinis and work for Goldman Sachs, and to fight pointless wars. And the money printing machine has devalued our dollar. That's just reality. The more dollars you put in circulation, the less valuable that dollar becomes.
Right. But still, someone needs to tell my job that, because they ain't give me no damn increase, but every damn thing else went up but my damn pay. So what the hell is going on?
That's been the general way. Yeah, everything has generally increased in price, except for wages.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's everywhere, though, Warrior. Everywhere.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Well,
It
I'm not the one in charge.
Yeah, I know, but I feel more like I feel blessed because, like I have one child, and I have a two income of two, but the thing is that what I think about is I think about my cousin who has 4 children and she's in a home by herself. I think about
Me
my
too.
my
I think
my
about people
my
like that
my
too.
girlfriend. You know what I mean? I think about stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it's like, man, it's just so messed up, and like you can't help everybody. You just kind of gotta do what you can, you know. But I don't know. Like, what do you do?
Well, what they're doing right now is they're raising interest rates to cause the economy to slow down, which I think is the only play they have.
That's all they
government.
can do right now. Yeah, that's
But
it. Like,
it's also causing a lot of people to lose their jobs.
I'm
So
about
you
to take my bills to the Federal
so
Reserve.
so it's like if okay, it's almost like the system is just designed to help rich motherfuckers, right?
That's it.
Right. So if a rich motherfucker is not suffering,
Then they don't
then
care.
they're not gonna step in, right? The rich motherfucker doesn't care if eggs cost $9,
They don't.
right? So because they've got a lot of extra disposable income,
Mhm.
it affects the rest of us. So
Right.
the government doesn't so much care about that. Oh, okay, you guys, you tough it out. You're hardworking Americans. You'll figure it out.
That's
You
how
guys,
they
I ain't about to kill myself.
you guys will figure it out.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that a lot of us, like, we're on salary, so it's like
Yeah,
you can't
I am
even
too.
afford to
Yeah.
make extra. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make extra. It doesn't matter. Your income is always going to be the same. I'm
But
like, man, I'm
yeah,
about to.
well,
This is the time where
well,
I
it
wish I
depends
was
how much.
hourly.
Depends how much extra you make, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was hourly because when I have to log in on the weekends and stuff, I don't get paid for that.
Well, Larry said he's going to teach us all how to earn passive income and retire in the next 2 years. So.
Well, I need to be in front center of that class for sure, because I'm with it. I need I need some disposable income.
I want artificial intelligence just to do all my work,
Oh
No, I
no.
don't want
and
that.
maybe I'll just double check it,
Double
And
check it.
I don't
Yeah,
think they'll let them do my job.
yeah, double check it, man. Let me double check my work. Hold on, guys.
Mm-mm. You done got me fired.
Yeah, and actually, no, I joke about that, but artificial intelligence, it's just going to be another like stab to the middle class. That's what it's going to be because
But it's gonna take away somebody's job at some point.
yes, right. They're going to be truck drivers are probably the most at danger, and manufacturing jobs
Hmm.
because you can program robots to do manufacturing jobs or to drive a truck.
Mm-hmm.
So I do worry about that a lot because there's so many people who have those kind of jobs.
You know what happens when you take their
And
jobs?
think about it, the truck drivers, those are one of the jobs
They
that
take their job,
actual
that's and then they
convicted
suck.
felon can have. So that's
Yeah,
a job that someone who's coming out of prison who wants to rebuild their life and really live right, they can actually be a truck driver.
right, and make good money. Yeah,
But you
there's
know
Right.
what a
truck
lot.
drivers who make good money.
But you know what a lot of guys do down here, Warrior.
Right.
They cut grass, man.
Landscaping, ain't nothing wrong with
They
that
do.
there.
Listen, a
I
lot of
pay
guys
good
who went to
money to my
prison.
landscaper.
Listen, these dudes, and some of the president of the little football the league team we coach, the president,
Mm,
and those guys, they own their own businesses. Some of them have backgrounds, and they own their own business, and they just all legitimate. What I'm saying, just do landscaping.
they make good money.
Yeah, they go across Central Florida and everything, and they just make a whole bunch of money cutting grass.
Especially if they hook up with a HOH or like a HOA or something. Yeah,
And they be out there by Disney, 'cause Hudson, how people, remember I talk about Caribbean blacks and American blacks and all of that.
mm,
Like we all got dreads and all kind of stuff. So you'll see them out there, you just think they whatever. And those guys back there by Disney, they everywhere trying to, and they
That's
always
good.
trying to get contracts. Everything trying to get on contract.
like everybody in my community have the same landscaper because they want everything. They want all the lawns and stuff to look the same. It's just weird around here.
Right. And it's just crazy. Like I said, it's if you take a lot of those jobs, man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be people get depressed and they start doing weirdo shit. So I don't want to happen to see an uptick or people dying or people killing family. You know what I'm saying? Because people do stupid stuff like that when they feel like they can't provide.
That's what yeah,
And
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
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 yeah, that's
and
what.
and it's only on track to get worse. It's not going to get,
right,
as more jobs become automated, basically. So it's almost like you've either got to win the lottery ticket and do what Larry's like always talking about, go for the big thing, and then hopefully
I
you
don't.
hit it,
Yeah, but you know what?
or
I don't
or
think I'll
you're
be
you're
okay.
just kind of peon. What
Even
did you say?
even I was saying like even if I think with me, I don't think anything will still allow me to get to that point. And I think that just comes from me growing up. Growing
Oh
up, we
yeah, yeah,
struggled so much growing up. I know how to make it through a struggle. You know what I mean? So I don't think that would take me over mentally. I might be pissed
yeah,
off about it, but
yeah.
as
I'd be
far as to
grumpy.
kill
I'd be
my
mad.
kids, oh
Yeah,
no.
I'd be grumpy and be mad, but I wouldn't be
Yeah,
mad. I wouldn't be mad at my kids.
right,
I'd be mad at the system.
right,
right.
right.
Because they get
But
mad
I'm
at
gonna make a
everybody.
way,
And
whether I gotta eat
well,
hot dogs and oodles and noodles every
hey,
day. I'm gonna make it.
like Karl Marx said, I'm just gonna throw in Fox News's favorite person to talk about.
But you know what's
It's
crazy?
it's inevitable that there'll be revolutions because people, you know, the the working middle class people will get sick of the bullshit and get the pitchforks come out at some point,
Listen,
and that's kind of the only way to reset things maybe.
but
But
the crazy.
you
No, I
know,
was gonna say something to you, SpongeBob.
yeah,
But the crazy
yeah,
part is
yeah.
when we talk about politics and stuff, and what's crazy was happening in my state. I know it probably happened in California because usually things happen over there first, and we're a little slower down here, right? So people moving like I'm in Orlando, so
Hmm.
people are moving damn near hour outside of the city to still work in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah.
So you got people, say for example, they'll live in Tampa, certain areas like that's an hour and some change away, and they're working in Orlando. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
Working here.
that's happening everywhere. Like I have friends in Texas, right? And
Mhm.
it used to be you could get a cheap house that's nice in Austin, like in the middle of Austin. You work there, and now it's like
That's supposed to be the most booming
friend,
city.
then like friends. It's actually in-laws too. That used to work like right in the or live right like in the city. Now they've got to like move on the outskirts, or they got to move like really far to find something affordable to live. Yeah, and then they got to have like a bad commute, shitty commute. Sucks.
Mm.
Because I like me personally, like the price I'm paying now, you can get where my mom stays. My mom stays about an hour out, right? So you can get damn near twice the house, but you're gonna be driving.
Yep.
You mean
You're gonna
twice
be
your commute to work or
yeah,
to
you're gonna be
everything?
driving. No, like you just no, not to everything, but just to work. Um, yeah, to say from where I work at to where she is, it's about an hour with no traffic. But see, with Disney, where it's at, you gotta
Did
add
you
an extra
say an
30 minutes.
hour?
Yeah, you can stay an hour
Yeah.
away depending which way you live, but
Yeah, that's not
say
a
for
long
example,
commute
Dates,
though. Well, up
Daytona
here
Beach.
it's not.
You heard of
Yeah.
that? You know Daytona Beach,
Man,
right?
you're kind of actually scaring me about my job, because my job right now is 100% remote, because I'm
Mine is
just
too.
a regular in-house counsel for a corporation. But they've got plans for me, so eventually they want me to be an officer of the company. So I'm going to have to be in the office at some point.
Mm.
Uh, and, that's, I probably got a little bit of time, 2 or 3 years. And my job is in Orange County. I work remotely
Mm,
from LA, and my job's in Orange County. Fighting that traffic from where
mm.
I live to there, oh, I'd be fucking dead in a year. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to think of something. My wife and I are gonna have to think of something, because she's got a good job in LA as a teacher. Like she loves her job. So I can't. I don't know. We're just gonna have to think of fucking something, because I can't. I can't do that commute. That's the.
And
It's
see,
just
that's the
no way.
thing. That's the thing I tell people. Like if I lived in, say, if I lived in Daytona to my job, about 50 minutes, because it's a straight shot. You know what I'm saying, on the interstate.
Hmm.
And the traffic usually ain't bad going that way. But out there, if you go out there by Disney, going down, I know you probably heard of Kissimmee, Poinciana, you know, anything down, it's gonna take you about, and it's a shorter distance, but it's gonna take you about an hour and an hour and a half just to get in the city to get to work. You got to leave at 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes to be here by 7:30,
Jesus.
7 o'clock, because
Jesus.
it's how bad the traffic get. Because some areas
Jesus.
is one way in and one way out.
Sweet Lord, baby Jesus.
What this thing keep
Oh,
saying?
there's that alarm. Were you stealing? You stole someone's car?
Listen, man, I don't steal cars.
What is that about? Like, is that like an alarm clock? Or is that
No,
actually a car?
what it is,
What
I
is
got
that shit?
it's the laptop. It's how you got the anti software, whatever that crap is.
Yeah.
The virus stuff. So it's in the corner, and I guess they saying the laptop fan, but I'm like, it's in the air. I'm holding it in my hand in the air. It's not even hot, but it still keeps giving me that alarm. So I'm like, the hell with it. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. I'm not finna fight that. I could have went live on my iPad. I should have did that to stop it. But I do like using this program though, because it's easy and it's easy. But where's Warrior? Why is Warrior on mute?
I don't know.
No,
It's
but yeah.
probably talking to Randa
I
behind
didn't
the
even know.
scenes.
I didn't even know
I
I was on mute. I was talking
I
to
saw
y'all.
I saw I saw what you and Randa were talking about.
Yeah, I was. Oh, I sent you a message. Looking in
Yeah,
the
I
chat.
know that was funny or
Oh,
something.
okay. um,
Uh,
what I was saying is that my job,
Man, it's hard to keep my mouth fucking
it,
shut. Guys, you guys in this. Ah.
my job
Mm.
is 100% remote as well. But even though it's only 20 minutes from my house, I still ain't going back. I don't want to go back because it makes your home life so much easier. Like instead of me coming home fixing dinner at 6:30, my dinner can be done at 5 o'clock because on my lunch I can season it up and get it done. You know what I mean? It's like you can cook your dinner for your family and get some housework done in between what you're doing at work. It was like you could do both jobs at one time. I ain't going back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love it. I love working from home,
I
but
do
I
too.
just, if I move up in this company like they expect,
You're
then
probably gonna have to.
yeah. I
In the
mean, because
beginning
at
though,
that
I
point,
hated it.
because they're talking about, you know, big job titles, like, so I have to be available to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you do.
the CEO would be
You're gonna
like,
have to go in the office.
I have a legal question, and I can't be like, oh, I work in Sherman Oak. Let me put you on fucking the webcam.
I
Uh,
don't know. Our CEO be on there
she's
sometime
cool.
on the webcam, but
I got
I
my
don't know.
job like that
I ain't
though.
going back. I'm not. In the beginning when COVID first hit, because of where
Well,
I work, because of what I do, they set us up 2 weeks prior to the government shutting down. So by the time the government shut down, we were already working at home for 2 weeks because they needed to make sure all the systems were up and running, right? So
and you're in
from
IT, right? Is that
yeah.
right? Okay.
hmm So from there, like it was like in the beginning I hated it. I didn't want to be home. It was just annoying. It was uncomfortable. I felt like I was eating more throughout the day. I felt like I wasn't getting any exercise. I wasn't walking around. It was just weird. But now I done got comfortable and I ain't going back.
You ain't
We
going
do
back.
have the option to go back, but I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I told them last week they could pack my office up. I'm not coming back. I
Oh
sure did
man,
pack it up.
you can't do
Yeah,
that work.
but if they were gonna make
Why?
you CTO,
Then I will go back.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
okay. I see how it works.
I mean, if they were
Oh,
gonna make you CTO and pay you like a shitload, you'd probably be like,
I will
okay,
go
okay,
back.
right.
But I'm not going back right now. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now I'm not. No way. You have to pay me a lot more.
Yes. I told my
You
assistant
have
she
to
could
pay me
pack
a
my
lot
office up
more
and
to get me to
ship
go in.
my stuff home.
I
Pack
like
it up
going to
and
work
ship
in
it.
person though. I do.
I don't mind going to work in person. It's this commute that I'm worried about. Like
See,
if the job were close, that'd be fine. I wouldn't.
But
cause
look, you
we,
still have your meetings on Teams online all day.
That's true.
So
That's
you
true.
know, because
Yeah, I mean, everyone does shit on Teams now, right?
yeah, that's what we use. We use Teams for everything.
mm,
Exchange
see,
files, everything on
Uh,
everything on Teams.
for real.
hmm
I
Wow.
don't know. The board at my work is kind of thinks old school, I guess. Like the rest of the freaking office does stuff off of Teams, but the board, including the CEO, hardly do stuff on Teams. They want to have meetings in person. They want to see your face, and they want to. It's like an old school type thinking, you know?
When they send a meeting request, it'll say whether they like when we have it with the CIA. Now the CIA, you gotta have your camera on. So their request for the camera to be on. But certain divisions, it'll just say off camera. But certain divisions will say camera on. So you have to have your camera on because even though you can't technically get onto it unless it's you, they part of their identity is seeing your face. They
Mm.
need to see that it's you. And they also need to see that there's nobody around you, which is weird as hell. And it's only with the CIA that does that. That's that only group that does that. You gotta like turn your monitor around to make sure that no one is around you. I don't know. I'm like, they ain't like they telling us no secret shit. you know?
I think they are.
No, they not. they
They
ain't
are.
telling us nothing secret.
Listen, man, they gonna tell you that QAnon is real.
No, we just maintain the systems. We ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Even the people who go to court to testify, right? They don't know what the case is about or none of that shit. They just go and explain data. That's it.
Okay, but now SpongeBob. Now, do you believe in some conspiracies, or you just denounce all of them?
I believe in conspiracies, but not most conspiracy theories. I believe in actual conspiracies. Like what? But I think the problem is we're focused on conspiracy theories, and that's a distraction from the actual fucking conspiracies. Like I mean, you know, I go back to this how you can buy politicians because the United States Supreme Court in Citizens United case said you can basically donate unlimited money to politicians. So that creates a conspiracy with big donors and politicians to, you know, buy our politicians and therefore potentially decrease our quality of lives. So I think like that's an example of an actual conspiracy. And I think we should be more focused on the actual conspiracies because these conspiracies, I mean, it's kind of fun, I guess, to talk about once in a while, but not if it's like people's main focus because you're devoting all your energy to these conspiracy theories instead of what's right in front of your fucking face. You know, like there are real conspiracies. You know, conspiracy to make the middle class and the working class poorer to the benefit of the top 1%. That's a real conspiracy that's going on in the United States.
Because you remember, it was a time period, SpongeBob. Like when I was when YouTube first came out, I was in I believe in high school. Like shit, it had to be. It was early. It was high school, and it was a number of conspiracy theories running all over YouTube, and it was a free for all at one point. But it was like, is any of
Well,
this shit
yeah,
real?
definitely. Well, I didn't believe in.
Ortiz?
I can't remember anything they talked about that I actually believed.
Right, because you remember it's like they came out with everything, and I'm like, it's one of those things that they get one right, they feel like they got it all right.
Yeah, well,
You know
what
what I
if
mean?
what have conspiracy theorists gotten right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, you know what I really hate about conspiracy theories? And this actually, I'm not going to say his name, but there's a YouTuber in the R. Kelly sector. It always comes back to the J word. And you know what I'm talking about. People of a certain religion. And I think that a lot of it's rooted, a lot of conspiracy theories are rooted in anti-Semitism. And as someone who does not judge people based on religion or the color of their skin or stuff, these extraneous things that I don't think are that important, in terms of dividing people. I don't think they should divide people. I find it really offensive because I think there's like code words. Instead of just saying we're Jewish, they'll say Illuminati. They'll
Well,
say,
they do a lot of different shit. They say a lot of
yeah,
weirdo things.
and it bothers me. And then I see someone like a well-respected musical artist like Kanye West, repeating this nonsense that I hear from neo-Nazis. And to me, that's one thing I find offensive. Is the conspiracy theories. A lot of the times they come back to the J word, and they'll use words like globalists or big bankers or like code words, Illuminati, etc. And
But the thing,
what they really mean is to pick on, demonize, and therefore potentially cause violent harm to people just based on their religion. And I find that offensive.
I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I think
Yeah.
it's a bunch of bullshit. I've never seen one that made sense to me, so I
I
don't believe them.
Yeah, it's just not my thing. I'd rather focus on conspiracies that are in front of my face.
Right.
Are these coworkers plotting against me? Like
I don't want to see it that way,
you
but
know,
some people
are
think
are
everybody's against them.
was there a conspiracy behind this? Person faking her death with Denise, or
Oh no.
was it Denise alone? No, I'm just kidding.
Who made her do it?
I just poke fun at her. I mean, she has said awful things about me, but I've never really said anything bad about her, other than just messing around
She's
messing
attacked
around like a,
everybody.
yeah, she has. Yeah.
Listen, and you know what's gonna happen? Because I'm gonna end this shortly, but you know what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
We're probably gonna be attacked on the Clean Live.
On this
Of course.
live, they'll
Mhm.
find something in it. Well, they
Yeah.
found they found something in when you guys were talking about dogs. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought you
So
guys were talking about dogs and
We
like, oh,
were.
blah blah blah, you this and that, and you in Oak Cove. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
We were really talking about dogs.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
That
know, I
was
get. I
weird.
don't. Maybe it's not possible to do a clean live.
it's possible to do.
Is
I
it?
listen.
I
I think
mean, yeah,
I'm one of the closest ones to get to it because I ain't bashed nobody. So, hey, look,
yeah,
I am. Like I tell you, I tell people all the time. I just want people to be free and live. Just live their truth. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
Yeah, that's not bashing at all, right?
yeah, I don't understand that. I promote
If you
happiness and
if
I
you say
promote.
it in a nice way, it's not bashing. You know,
No, yeah,
if you're nice about it.
they might have take it wrong. They could take it however they want to take it, but
I don't know.
I just want people to be happy. And I don't understand all the hate and anger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, just chill, bro. We all can just we don't all have to get along, but Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
does
just
get out of hand.
yeah, and you know what, man? Listen, I'm gonna cut this short, but
Yeah, I'm about to go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock over here. I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
it's
So
almost
what?
1
I'm
o'clock.
already at work because I'm home, but I
Yeah.
still got to get up
I
and
was
log
gonna
in.
say that you be always I gotta go to work. I'm like, you just turned over and
I love how many times I can push the fucking snooze button. Yeah.
Right? I love it. I love
I'm
it. Love
hating,
it.
And
man.
Love
it's
it.
like, and as long as I got Teams logged on, no one will ever know.
Yes. Look, my teams be
I turn
unavailable.
on the yeah, exactly. Exactly that it says available.
Whatever. I don't care. You can say what you want to say. I'm all right.
Listen,
He's SpongeBob. Fat Boy jealous because he got to go in.
I'll go in tomorrow. So tomorrow,
No, but you still got to go. When you go to work, you got to go in.
listen. I gotta go
It's
in,
all right.
but one thing I do, will say, with my job, I do like, a lot of people lives depend on it. You know what I'm saying, for the surgeries we
That's
do
very,
and
very
stuff.
true.
So it's
What
like,
what kind of
Very
work do
true.
you do?
for me, I work in the I'm SPD, but I work in the OR. We got to set up the surgeries, man.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yes. Very,
That's
yeah.
that's great.
So people like, they take it for granted. I'd be like, dude, we got to make sure because one
Yeah.
wrong instrument can cost them $100,000.
Yeah.
Somebody be
Yeah.
under anesthesia and can't have surgery is a horrible.
Or mess around and get an infection or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
I remember my first time sitting through a surgery. I seen somebody. They did a like a knee thing. Like they ain't had no knee. They just had a straight leg,
Wow.
and they put a rod in them. And then I seen them drill it, and that's part of our training. You got to sit and watch the surgery, so you got to know how the instruments work and everything. It's like, oh man, they really. When people wake up, I'll be like, man, they done
Wow.
they done jacked you up, but then they be so happy to be.
I jacked you
If
up.
I saw
Listen,
someone wake up in the middle of a surgery, oh my God, I think
they
I'd be
got
so
good. They got
scared to
good
have
drugs
surgery.
there. They got good drugs there. Them people ain't waking up. They wake up from
Okay.
that. If I can get that stuff they got in the hospital on the streets, man,
See.
I
I
might have to
don't
let the
think that's
world for it.
possible.
But they got some stuff that lay you down for hours and hours and hours. You won't feel a thing.
Nice.
And it just we just take the stuff we take for granted, man. And I remember I used to work in the neurology, like the neuro part. And I never forget, I used to hate working Friday nights like that until I switched because I used to have people that go through windshields, drunk driving. And you like, man, these people come in there like they dead, but they managed to save their life. And they
Wow.
be like they putting cement and all kind of, like for the bones and all that kind of it's crazy what you'll see. I think you gotta somewhat be insane to be a surgeon. personally.
Well, my brother's a surgeon. I think
So
he's probably
Yeah,
a
I got
little
a
in, a
got
little
a
insane.
girlfriend. Yeah, my girlfriend, she's a surgeon too. I think she's a little bit weird, but she's a surgeon.
and to see, like you see, when you see that, you were like, look, I ain't want to,
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
it, I'd be like, you be like, you're immune to it. I'd be like, yeah, because shoot, my first experience, I started from the bottom there. I was scrubbing floor, but my first experience was a man Chuck gave me the deuce. Like the deuce sound like, like peace. And I
Oh
look at
my
him
God.
and I piece him back, and he went in the room. They took all his organs out.
But
Oh,
he just died.
Listen, I guess they was holding him alive to get them that heart and everything.
Oh,
I was like,
but
oh my
wait a
man,
minute.
God.
I thought. Wait a minute. How did he give the deuce? I thought you got to be gone, or
he was conscious. That man was
I
conscious.
ain't. I ain't know they could do that. Like
Listen,
that
he
sound like
might
some body snatching shit. I
listen.
don't
That's
know.
why I be telling folks. I be like, I don't think he might have been. He was alive, but
But
they
he
might have
healthy
tried to
enough to
save
put
him.
up deuces. So what they
Listen,
do?
deuces.
Kill him?
Listen, I don't know if they killed him or not. All I
They
know
had to.
is
They snatched all his
he
organs.
big as me, and he came out flat. He big as me and came out tear size.
That's weird as hell.
Huh.
They done took his eyeballs, his heart,
Oh my
You know,
God.
it was a case
everything,
going
bone
on where
marrow.
somebody was trying to sue behind an organ donor because they
Mhm.
found out that they gave the person morphine and some other kind of sedative to do the organ transplant, and they said if the person was dead already, why would you have to give them that?
No, but then but they got to keep the body up, even if you like die. Say like you,
But you said dude threw up the peace
nah,
sign.
he threw up the deuce. He scared the shit out of me. But
That's weird to me.
everybody else, when they can't do no more, and then everything happened, they have a whole team of people come out of nowhere, like people from other places and everything. So say they just take all their stuff. They
But
take
they
this
they
stuff.
killing them. Like how did they're not dying on their own?
Sometimes you got to keep them their heart beating, so you get the heart transplant.
But they throwing up deuces.
Listen, he had his eyes open and gave them deuce. Caught the
They
deuce.
killed them then. They killed them.
They
Oh my
didn't kill that man.
God.
Could have been that man. Could have. They
Jeez.
tried to do the surgery. He ain't make it. I ain't gonna say they killed him.
He did make it. He threw up the deuces.
I just like the fact that I ain't want. Nah, I don't like the fact. Shit, I don't want to be the last thing nobody see. But he went in there and he came out flat.
That's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't work in medical.
Neither could I. I
And then you
couldn't.
got to worry about
No.
CETA. You ever heard of CETA?
No.
What's that?
I guess I call it the shitty disease. People just can't stop shit and they shit everywhere out of control.
I ain't never heard of that before.
I haven't heard of that.
Listen, you got to wear a mask and all in there because they're gonna be like, "Oh, this room has CETA in it." Oh God, they got to warn because like certain stuff they got to warn us on, like say if I'm in like decontamination after a surgery or something. You know what I'm saying? And I done listen where I done seen it all. I done seen chunks of human feet on flesh. Only thing I don't do is the one they put the pole in their booty and clean them out. I don't work with that.
Oh,
But I do work with the bro, they got a rod big as your arm, SpongeBob, that go inside somebody rectum and clear all that out.
oh my God.
Clear all what out? You talking about like a colonoscopy?
Listen, they
That's
ain't
a
no
test.
listen, they ramrodding them.
Oh no.
When they
I ain't
showed me
never.
that, I was like, I'm happy I'm not in that part of the hospital. Y'all can have that.
Oh
I
God.
skip over that. I rather pick up the chunks of bone.
Man.
The chunks of bones.
Yeah, sometimes bone
And
be on the floor.
you're pretty young, right? So you
Yeah.
may not have to go through a lot of this shit. They'll probably figure some better ways of doing things.
No, but
Even between the difference of my age and yours. Like I'm gonna be older. I'm gonna still be having these things done this way, but like maybe you'll have an easier time.
hopefully I ain't trying to break no bones. I ain't break one yet. But I just tell people just always don't take your body and stuff for granted, man. And
Right.
Oh yeah, I
because when you
agree.
see that, it give you a deeper appreciation. It'd be like, man,
Yeah.
and you got people there or you see people who be criminals, like you know what I'm saying? They change. they helpless. Like they could have got stabbed or whatever, and they really helpless. And you want to be like, you show them compassion, because I work at a place where we can pray for them. You know what I'm saying? Or you can gather around and pray for them and stuff.
That's good.
And because sometimes everything you can't do. Sometimes you can't do it. It just sucks seeing. You know, it's a hard thing. To
Really?
See.
Wow.
Yeah. You walk through, man. Look, it don't matter what you do in the hospital. You gonna see some things that's gonna have you like, man. You're gonna be more appreciative of your life and other things. You're gonna be more everything. So people always thinking it just be, oh, they do that. Nah, man. Some of them people be fucked up. Fucked up. And you've been like, God, please don't let me get that. Don't let that happen to me. I'm gonna wear my seatbelt. I'm gonna do these things. You know what I'm saying? You got all kind of diseases. You got people drop dead from any damn thing. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't just do nothing but be grateful for it. Like, I ain't had no surgeries. I ain't got no bad back or no broken bones. So I'd be like, man, fuck it. Fuck what anybody say. I got my health and I got my body. So
enjoy it while it lasts.
But now, before I go through that, because
some shit starts breaking down when you get into your 40s.
No, but guess what? I'd rather try to prevent it the best I can.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, if I could go back in time, there's a lot of different choices I'd make.
Yeah, man. But listen, guys, we almost at 2 hours. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, it is.
I want to get my Oko family.
It's 10 p.m.
Well, look, that's over there. Okay,
It's over there.
It's 1 o'clock over here.
I'm gonna play my video game, probably. But
Right.
I'm gonna get off this live and listen, man. Shout out to my Oko family and other people that came into the chat. All you guys are appreciative. Please hit the like button on the way out, and thank you guys.
Thank you. See y'all later. Don't forget to hit the like button.
Yeah.